Today, my name is Vicki Townsend, and I'm the founder and president of Divorce Right. And we provide training for HR professionals and company supervisors, and we provide divorce coaching and case management, providing the guidance and direction that your divorcing employees so desperately need. Divorce is a huge disruptor, not only for your employee going through it, but to the company they work for. And we have over 70 divorce coaches that can assist your employees going through it. And our coaches have a very unique perspective on divorce. They have a deep understanding of the legal, financial, and emotional aspects of divorce, and they can handle even the highest conflict cases with compassion and professionalism. Our coaches are trained to look at the entire picture, helping your employees make good decisions based on their goals and their expectations. So if you're an HR benefits manager or an HR benefits provider or a consultant, please reach out to us and see if adding our suite of solutions is a good fit for your business. And as a reminder, we have SHRM credits for SHRM members, and we'll be posting that code at the end of this broadcast so that you can grab those. And today we're still talking about Divorce Month. That's right, January is Divorce Month. Just FYI, the first week after January 1st is the very busiest time on Google. So it's likely right now you have some employees that are making some very, very critical life decisions right now and likely under the radar. So today I have a very special guest from her very smashing podcast, Divorce Girl Smiling, Jackie Pilosoff. Jackie is the founder of Divorce Girl Smiling, the company that connects people facing divorce with trusted vetted divorce professionals. Divorce Girl Smiling is also a podcast, website, mobile app, and well-known brand and community. DGS is a mission to empower, connect, and inspire men and women before, during, and after their divorce. Jackie, who holds a master's degree in broadcast journalism, is a former television news reporter, a features reporter, and writer for the Chicago Tribune. Her syndicated weekly column, Love Essentially, was published in the Pioneer Press and the Chicago Tribune and all Tribune publishing editions for 6.5 years. Jackie also is a Huffington Post divorce blogger and has been for 5 years. Welcome, Jackie.
Thanks so much for having me, Vicki.
So glad that you're here with us today. And, I'd love to just jump right into this because you, like myself, you work around people going through the divorce process on a regular basis. So let's talk about the mindset of an employee going through a divorce right now.
So I guess I should start with myself because I want your listeners to know that I personally went through a divorce 17 years ago. I had 2 young kids. They were 3 and 5. And so I personally know what people are feeling for myself, but I also talk to women and men going through a divorce all the time. So I wanted to clarify that I do have personal experience, which they probably guessed anyway.
As do most of us. Yeah.
But I would say there's a few things going on with someone going through a divorce. First, they are thinking about their children. That is one of the most scary things. Are my kids going to be okay? Should I really be working and continuing to have a nanny, or should I maybe stay home now, even though I can't afford to quit my job and stay home? They also worry immensely about money, finances. They worry, can I stay in my house? They worry about things like, am I going to be alone forever? My ex already has a girlfriend and I can't even think about dating yet. They fear, name it. What are people going to say about me? I'm going to be the divorcee. What are people at work going to say? It's embarrassing. I feel like a failure. So those are just some things going through their mind. And it's just such a scary and stressful time for people.
One of the things that we talk about is the impact of divorce on the workplace. And you've really just hit something that companies are experiencing like crazy. And that's something called presenteeism. And presenteeism, that's when you're physically at your desk, but you're kind of like this, right? And it's one thing to talk about it when it's, I don't know, something that they're thinking about, what time they need to go get their hair done or whatever. But divorcing employees are worried about everything. Absolutely everything. From can I keep my job? Can I keep my kids? Can I keep my house? How am I going to afford this? Everything is on the table and it shows up in presenteeism. And as a matter of fact, Harvard Business Review did an article on presenteeism, and it costs our companies in the United States, and this, I don't know how long ago this article was written, I think about 4 or 5 years ago, that presenteeism is $150 billion problem each and every year. And this is the perfect example of that.
Absolutely. One of my Divorce Girl Smiling trusted professionals on the website wrote an article I can't remember the exact title, but it was something like, how can you work when you're running to the bathroom to cry every hour? And that costs companies money.
Absolutely.
Because if you used to be this amazing employee and now you're just they're getting about 40% of you or maybe less, that costs money. And I think we were talking a little bit before the show. Well, I think we're going to get into it, what you can do about that if you have a company.
Yeah, absolutely. And, so that exact thing, crying in the bathroom, crying at your desk, it's not insignificant. It's actually one of the signs. I just wrote an article. If you're here with us on LinkedIn, I just posted an article about 2 days ago on the signs that one of your employees is going through a divorce, and running to the bathroom or crying at your desk is definitely one of them. So employees right now in January, divorce month, and yes, divorce is seasonal. People right now are making some of the most critical decisions of their life, but some of them have just found out they're getting a divorce. So if your employee is kind of found out sideways that they're in the middle of it and was completely and totally unexpected, something like running to the bathroom is likely in their world right now. So how does this whole thing that we're talking about affect their relationships, their parenting, their life, and their work?
Well, let's start with work since we're on this topic. So first of all, they might not even tell anybody in the office. So you might not even know, but the signs are, like Vicki said, running to the bathroom, a lot of red eyes. You could tell they've been crying, but that's not always it. It could be extreme irritability, just really jumping down other coworkers' throats. They used to be so nice, and now all of a sudden they're being extremely irritable and rude. They could be, like you said, not present, just kind of, wait, I'm sorry, what'd you say? Can you say that again? And so their productivity completely goes down. They could, be on edge, like jump, like every minute. And just so there's a lot of things. And what's tricky about it is, as an employer, you may not even know because they might be too embarrassed. They're not ready to tell you yet.
Can I tell you what that statistic is? The statistic is that 92% of your employees will never tell their employers until after the fact, when they have to go to HR and change their insurance paperwork, right? They have to take their X off of their policy. So, and the number one reason that they don't tell their employers, they're afraid they're going to be fired. That's putting us
definitely see that,
right? It's a big, huge spotlight that they've just put on themselves, saying, watch me, watch my work quality, watch my work, watch if I can meet my deadlines, watch if I'm, having these, to your point, emotional outbursts where they're typically not. So you're so right on target here.
And also, when you're getting divorced, your self-esteem basically is in the garbage can. You could be the most self-confident person, so secure, had a great upbringing, kind of like me. And then you go through a divorce and it's temporarily just in the garbage. So you're paranoid. You're thinking, I'm going to get fired. I suck at my job. I'm horrible at this anyway. Maybe they should fire me, because you don't even believe in yourself anymore, because you don't even know. Well, I thought my marriage was fine. My husband just announced he's leaving me and getting married to someone else. Maybe I'm a loser. And now maybe I'm a loser at work. Maybe I'm a bad parent. I'm telling you, I have seen the most confident people become just shells of themselves. But the good news is it's only temporary, and there are ways to get help.
So let's talk about those ways to get help. Well, I know that you have a divorce story. We all do, right? Especially those of us that have made this a life's mission, right? You and I have said, we want to save people from making the same mistakes that you and I did, right? Why don't you talk about a little bit about your story? Because you were with a company during your divorce. Tell us about that. You have a good story.
Well, okay, I want to clarify. When I got divorced, I was a stay-at-home mom for a while, but then I went back to work. And I just want the listeners to know, Vicki and I were talking about this beforehand. That's why she knows the story, because it is a wonderful example of a company really taking care of its people. And so I had a full-time job a few years after I got divorced. I went back to work. Waited way too long, by the way, but that's another podcast or another interview. Okay. So I was working for this company and I had an amazing boss. I wish she was listening. I should have texted her and told her to listen. And because I no longer work there. And when COVID hit, everybody was very nervous. We knew a lot of people who were dying, who were young. It was not what COVID is today. It was very scary to everybody. But I am the kind of person who has a lot of issues around like being hypochondriac. Is that a word? I'm a hypochondriac, right now. I think I have those tendencies. And so for me, it hit me especially hard. What?
No, I get it. Are you there?
Okay, I just lost you. That's why I couldn't hear what you said. Okay, so at the beginning, the first couple weeks, I was like a mess. And I get a call from my manager, and she said like, "Hi, how you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" Like, I'm thinking, okay, what does she need? Why else would you call? And she said, "I'm just calling to see how you're doing." And I was like, "What? I'm all right. How are you?" And she said, "No, I really want to take the time to see if you're okay. And I want to see what you need." And I never forgot that. And there were about 40 or 50 people that worked for the company. And she called every single one of us and had that same conversation and ended it by, "Please let me know if there's something I can do. If you need time off, if you need to talk to somebody, anything you need, you let us know, because we know we can all get through this together." And it was such a wonderful example of an amazing leadership. And really, she was like that the whole time I worked there.
That just tells you that, having an empathetic leader and somebody that values their employees to the degree that clearly she did, and was willing to step in, because during COVID, one of the things that happened during COVID was, people were stuck at home 24/7. And if you couldn't stand your spouse at the time, it was like putting, the boxing gloves on. And while divorce rates, it's interesting, people think that divorce rates went up in 2020, but they didn't, only because the courts were closed. The system was closed. So in 2021, when the court systems opened back up, they were then they were so backlogged with about a year's worth of cases. And I think they're still trying to catch up. So it really hasn't been an easy transition for anybody. But what was very clear to everybody that was there was that this COVID and the lockdown caused a lot of relationship issues, a lot of
Yes.
problems.
But I just want to get back to my wonderful former boss to say one other thing, because I think this is really important in the story. What that conversation did for me is it made me feel like, wow, she really cares about me as a person.
Mhm.
And you know what that does to an employee? It makes them want to do the best job they possibly can. I'll stay the extra hour. I'll work on Saturday because I love you and I want to make you happy because I know you care about me.
Yeah.
I mean, really. So for what you guys do, Vicki, it's like so less. Wait, what am I trying to say? It's a little cost for a huge gain.
Yeah, huge return.
If you want to keep people, you got to treat them right with respect and make them feel like you care about them. But you can't fake it. You have to really care about
Absolutely.
them.
And one of the things, we're seeing trends in employee benefits around caregiving. So, a caregiving for an elderly parent. But you know what? You're divorcing employees, of which, by the way, you've got between 3 and 5% of them that are in the middle of it right now, like it or not. 3 to 5. That's just statistics, right? It's not. This is not dance here. This is just get out your calculators. It's 3 to 5% of your employees right now. So if you've got 10,000 employees, you've got between 300 and 500 of them that are somehow thinking about it, beginning it, in the middle of it, or just ending it. So they need help. They need support. They are in a labyrinthine system that is designed to take their money, take their time, and it takes their sanity. So they need help more than you know. And I know it's uncomfortable. This is a really uncomfortable conversation. And you should never walk up to an employee and go, hey, you getting a divorce? Right? But you're absolutely right. Productivity drops by 40% on average for 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years.
So should we get into what you should say to
Yeah.
someone?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because I was thinking people might be listening saying, well, what should I say? I know something's off with so and so, and I just don't even know how to approach her. And I would say, I mean, I'm not an expert, I'm just someone who went through a divorce. I would say something to someone like, I don't know if there's something going on with you, and I don't want to pry, and I'm not asking you to tell me, but you seem a little bit different to me, and I'm a little concerned, and I want you to know my door's open and I'm here for you if you ever want to talk. Because if you say like, hey, what's going on? You just seem so sad lately. That's just going to put somebody, oh my God, what am I going to do? She knows. She must have ran into my neighbor and they told her, or whatever,
Right. I love that.
So what do you think they should say?
Well, one of the things that we always talk about is really, from a work perspective, is addressing it from their output and their productivity. If they're missing deadlines, right? If the team is being disrupted because they are not producing, whether it's a product or just meeting a simple deadline, and it's impacting the rest of the team, to say, what, we're seeing some things in your work performance that is, unlike you. This has been totally unlike you. We are here for you, but we need to discuss, your diminished, productivity. Is there something going on that we can help you with? And one of the things that's really uncomfortable with what we do, because we're a very hard call to make. It's easy to research a divorce. It's very hard to pick up the phone and call someone about it, because it's kind of admitting out loud that your marriage is over. So we understand that. But if as an employer, if you can make it easily accessible in your EAP plans, maybe provide some brochures of not only the EAP plan for mental health support, but also let them know that there is relationship support and support for you should you find yourself going through a divorce. just kind of giving them that information to say, these are just some of the resources we have for you. And
Well, I haven't been in a corporate environment in like a year and a half. Well, maybe longer, but I would say, don't they all have like this thing called the intranet where they're all like connected, and any newsletters, anything online, announcements, they should be advertising this to everybody because, like you said, like 40% of the people are going to want to see it. So if they just say, like, we have divorce coaches and therapists, if you need one, please let us know. And they don't have to tell anybody, but they might not know. So if you just have it in your EAP and it's listed, no one's going to see it, but you almost need to advertise it.
absolutely, oh, there's 100% and consistently, because it's so funny. We were a part of a really big program with a company called EHIR, which is Employee Health Innovations Roundtable. They cull through the newest and latest employee benefits, and they chose us to bring into their den of interesting and unique options that large employees, jumbo employers should take a look at. And the thing that they said to us, they go, Vicki, you guys are where mental health counseling was 10 years ago, because nobody used to want to talk about mental health care support. It wasn't a conversation, right? It was uncomfortable. We are uncomfortable, but we are very costly. And if I'll throw some other statistics out there. There was a study by Family Innovations 20 years. No, it's not that one. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, they did a study. As a direct result of divorce, it costs our country, in our companies and our government agencies, and just in lost productivity, $300 billion a year. 300 billion with a B. And so let's up that for inflation. We're up 450 billion, 400 billion a year as a direct result of divorce. So we need to say that not only is it a smart thing to do, it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do for your employees. It's the right thing to do for your company. And kind of taking off the hat of, this is none of my business, because it's kind of the way it's always been. It's, they're having problems at home. It's time to address it in a way that means you still need to talk to legal counsel. What is legal for me to say to this person? I do know it is legal to say your performance is not up to your normal standards. Is there anything that I can help you with? Don't ever say, are you going through a divorce? Right? You can't do that. But you can say the wonderful thing that you just said, my door is always open. If you need somebody to talk to, I'm here.
It's a funny choice of words. It's none of my business, you just said, but it is. And it's all about your business.
It very much is your business. It very much is your business. And so I'm going to put up your URL for your Divorce Girl Smiling podcast, and let everybody know that they can reach out to you, find out some wonderful information about the divorce process, and meet some wonderful professionals that can assist by going to divorcedgirlsmiling.com and reach out to Jackie, most definitely. And for those of you that are listening today and are members of SHRM, we have a code for you. So I'm going to put that up right now to get your SHRM PDC credit. And this is your code for today. So make sure that you grab that. Jackie Pilossoph, thank you so much for joining us today and being a part of this wonderful conversation about how we can impact not only your employees, their dedication and loyalty to your company, but also we can help you with your bottom line. It is a hidden expense. It is a clear and odorless gas that leaves your company, but it's time to start to tackle it. and get your employees the support they so desperately need. So thank you so much for joining us, Jackie. And we will be back next
Thank you
week with
for
another
having me.
conversation about how you can support your divorcing employees in the best, kindest way possible. So thank you all, and we'll see you next week. Bye, Jackie.